Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about your doppelganger.
And how to kill them, how to hunt them down and find them. Because he's looking for you, because you look just like.
My name is Jessica Clemons. With me today is off-screen producer Brandon Barrick.
Oh, don't sound so shocked.
I'm shocked because where are we?
Where are we? You might be asking yourselves that very question at home right now. Well, we're doing the BQ today from a very special location. That's right. This is the set for our new daily live show, The Break Room. Whoa, a new daily live show. It's actually premiering tomorrow on the channel right here in the afternoon.
Oh my God, who's on it?
I'm gonna be on it.
You're
Jessica's gonna be on it.
I love it.
You'll see off-screen producer Zach on the show. You'll see Uncle Tommy Bechtold on the show. Maybe some appearances from Philip Molina. Maybe appearances from Whitney Van Lanningham. Who knows? All sorts of guests are gonna come on. It's gonna be great. This isn't, you know, the permanent BQ set at all. We're gonna have a new BQ set eventually, but this is the break room set. You're getting a little preview right now, and we're so excited to be in person, no longer trapped in our blue dungeons. We're in touching distance, very safely, of course. But yeah, what are they gonna see on the break room? What are we gonna talk about on the break room?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna talk about all the nerd news and up-to-date stuff that you guys have been asking for. We are only here to bring you everything in nerd culture, whether that's in DC, MCU, Star Wars, Stranger Things, everything.
Everything.
And we're gonna tell them about it every single day.
Yeah, we'll be here every weekday. We're gonna interact with the chat a ton. We're gonna be doing lots of fun stuff with the chat, so you can talk to us. You can ask questions, we'll answer the questions. We're gonna have some fun every now and then. Some of it will be mandatory fun, but it will be fun. So check us out every day here on the channel, streaming live. And if you missed the live stream, you can always watch it later and catch up on everything so you won't miss a minute. So yeah, check us out tomorrow as we go live, 3 p.m. Pacific. Maybe have to cut that out, who knows?
Very flexible. We don't know. Sometimes things change. You don't know when another earthquake might happen.
That's right. Check us out tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. if you live in the UK. All over the world, you'll be able to watch us. So tune in and check that out.
So today we're here with Big Question because that's what you guys are tuning in for. So what is our big question for today? Actually?
I'm glad you asked, Jessica. I'm glad you asked. Well, we finally got a trailer for Thor Love and Thunder. And with it came our first look at the back of Zeus. We didn't see the front of Zeus. We saw the back of Zeus, as well as what we can assume is the pocket dimension home of all the Greek gods, Olympus. Wait a second, Jessica.
Yeah.
Didn't the Eternals already establish some of Greek mythology?
Yeah.
That these space robots were the Greek gods? That they're the ones that were on MCU's Earth doing this, not the real gods living in Olympus, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they did?
Also, sorry, but side note, now that we could do this in person, I didn't notice how much you play a piano.
I play a fake piano. That's what keeps me on task, is playing a fake piano. Jessica, can we ask this question?
Billy Joel is shuddering right now.
Oh,
Stop it!
he's gonna get his minivan, he's gonna come find me.
Let me do my show, for Christ's sake!
Deep cut.
But aren't all the gods, not all the gods, but most of the gods in Eternals technically the gods?
Yeah, they kind of set that up, right? That they were the legends that became the mythology to the people who lived on MCU's Earth. So that's what leads us to this week's big question. How do the Eternals history and the Greek gods history fit into the MCU?
Ooh, that's
right?
a great question.
That's a good
That's
big
a
question
hot
to have.
question.
So many of us here at the New Rockstars office, we've been wondering how these two versions of Greek mythology would mesh together as soon as we saw those golden lightning bolts appear in the Thor teaser. Because here come the Olympians, baby. They're coming into Marvel, finally. They've existed in Marvel Comics for quite some time. The Greek gods and goddesses that we know in the real world are known as the Olympians in Marvel Comics. And it's very similar to how the Norse gods and goddesses are known as the Asgardians. The Olympians live in a pocket dimension known as Olympus. It looks a lot like the Mount Olympus of legend. And a lot of their history and hierarchy in the comics mimics that of our real world Greek mythology.
That makes sense, yeah.
So it's a lot like what we're learning about on Moon Knight with the
Yes.
Egyptian gods and the Ennead, right?
Yes.
And just like the Asgardians, like we said, Marvel Comics was like, oh, these stories are already great. Let's kind of port them over and explain them through our own comic-y ways, right?
sense.
And we're super excited to have the pantheon of gods expand in the MCU. But we had a little film by the name of Eternals come out last year, which seemed to establish some of these space androids as part of Earth's mythology, specifically Greek mythology. So how is all this going to mesh together? Jessica, let's see if we can figure that out by going through some of the Eternals and see where the confusion might lie. And let's begin with the head of the new head of the Eternals here on Earth. Cersei. Oh, she's the boss now.
Well,
Ajax made her the boss.
She is definitely the head up, but now she was sucked away, right?
Well, yeah. She's on her way to go talk to Arishem and get judged.
But she is the.
But she's the leader.
She's the captain.
She's the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
She looked at Ajax's dead body and was like, "I am the captain now. These are my Eternals." I shouldn't do that voice. That's terrible.
I can do it.
You can do it, Jessica.
Wait, stop. I can't. But
Hey,
I am the captain.
Ajax.
Look at me, Ajax. I am the captain now.
So when she was around during like early history, dealing with human civilization, she was helping humans develop culture with her transfiguration abilities, while the other offensive-based Eternals would wipe out deviants, right? She'd usually let them do the fighting.
That makes sense.
And she'd hang back and like change things into other things. She has a counterpart in Greek mythology, of course, Circe, spelled differently. Circe. And Circe is a minor goddess, sometimes referred to as like a witch.
A witch!
And she's most famous for her role in the Odyssey, Homer's The Odyssey, right? She falls in love with Odysseus when he lands on her island, and she doesn't want him to leave. And she has this habit of when people wrong her, she turns them into animals. That kind of transfiguration ability, right?
Understandable.
Like, yeah. Odysseus and his men, they wash up on the shore because they're on their way home, and they're like, "Oh, let's take a little break here. Oh, look at these animals running around." And they come to find out those were people. Those are people.
Got it.
So in Greek mythology, like Circe, she's, like I said, she's a minor goddess. She's pretty far down from like Zeus and his children, right? And she was a goddess known for her abilities to make potions and work with herbs. And she also had this magic wand that could like change people, right?
So this is more like our Circe.
Yeah.
Except for the staff.
Right. So that's how like the similarities lie between the Circe of the Eternals and like real world mythology Circe.
Okay.
Now the Olympians don't really have their own version of Circe in the comics. So there's not going to be much incongruence there, right? In fact, Marvel Comics has even retconned the comic version of Circe so that in the comics she is the inspiration for Circe's action in the Odyssey. She like inspired Homer by what she was doing.
That makes sense. They can do that so well.
Right.
They can do that so well, and I'll give them that for Eternals and for Moon Knight. I'm just like, yeah. Historically, it links up. It makes sense now. It makes sense. We all love a little crossover, and this is the most major crossover that we can be given: is history and fictional comic books.
And so I think when the Olympians show up in the MCU, they're not gonna be mad about Circe.
No, they're
she's
not.
not pretending to be one of theirs. Not one of their main ones, anyways.
Yeah.
She's like a lesser character, so they won't be mad about
They'll
that.
probably fall in love with her.
They
They'll
probably
be like,
will. Who
"She's
wouldn't
now
fall in
our
love with
god."
Circe, huh?
Let me tell you, Gemma Chan, marry me.
Marry me.
Gemma Chan, if you're watching this randomly, I know some celebrities do for some reason. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Who else watches us? The founder of Reddit, more specifically, Serena Williams. If you're watching this, or your husband, the founder of Reddit.
Serena, if you're lying in bed with your husband, you're watching this, call Jessica, all right? I don't know.
Sorry, husband, you're cool.
You're
Serena, please, mama, baby, come in. Mama, baby, please.
So Cersei's cool, I think. No
Cersei.
problem there. That'll make sense. But let's get to the big one that I'm sure is on everyone's mind.
Yep.
Thena,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Thena, as confirmed by Sprite in the Eternals films, the Eternal we know as Thena was known to the people of ancient Greece as the goddess Athena. Thanks to her work defending Athens from the deviants. So that's like a literal translation, right?
Yeah.
These ancient Greeks, they see a goddess, what they assume to be a goddess, fighting these monsters, and they're like, "Oh, that's a goddess." And then Sprite's like, "Yeah, and her name's Athena. Love her."
Athena.
And I think the story is because she's defending Athens, they named her after Athens a little bit in the Eternals like mythology, right?
Yes.
Now here's where the big problem arises, right? We all know of Athena from like Greek mythology, and there is already an Olympian known as Athena in Marvel Comics. She's the daughter of Zeus, and she was worshipped by the ancient Greeks and the ancient Romans. And in the comics, the city of Athens was actually named after Athena.
That Athena.
Yeah, the Olympian version of Athena.
Okay.
Right? So it's like there was a contest between her and Poseidon and the people of the city chose Athena, and so they named the city Athens after her. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem, right? Because the Olympians are going to show up, and Athena is going to look at Thena and be like, "What are you doing?"
This is something that they'll have to fix once they get to that hurdle.
Right.
But I guess in the movies they don't really have to address.
Well, because remember, Sprite is talking to Dane Whitman, right? When he's in the museum waiting for his girlfriend to get finished with her class. He's looking at a statue and he mentions Athena, and then like Sprite's like, "Ugh, it's Thena," and they never get the face right, something like that. And he's like, "What are you talking about, girl? You're crazy."
Well, I'm saying that Zeus's Athena doesn't need to be brought up really in the movies.
Well,
Like,
I mean, she's a pretty big part of like the Olympians, right?
Yeah, no, it's a huge. Please don't skip it. But I feel
Well, they made such a point of it in the Eternals film. How could they not address it?
So maybe that could be the joke. That could be the bit. Like eventually, when we do see Athena, she's like,
well, I'm wondering
girl that
if
took my name.
That, or if they do something like they did with Hela, right? When they had to kind of retcon the Infinity Gauntlet that was sitting in Odin's vault, she walks by it at Ragnarok and she's like, "Oh, it's a fake."
It's a fake.
It's
right?
a fake.
Are they gonna have the real Athena be like in a museum and be like, "That's not me. That's that dumb robot that was pretending to be me."
Athena, I hate her.
Right.
Well, I guess who's more? So the actual Zeus is Athena. Is she more powerful than Athena? Well, she's a god, I get that, but is she like a warrior like Athena?
She is a warrior. She's like a powerful warrior. She's very strong. She has all the Olympians have like base god abilities, right?
Yeah.
And so do the Eternals, but the Eternals are robots and they have to suffer through programming,
true.
right?
That's true. So that'd be sad.
So the gods have more agency in a lot of ways.
I could see them doing the museum type of trope and being like, "Oh, this is the fake one. This is the robot version of me." Like,
right.
Okay, I could see that. That'd be so sad because it would just make all of Thena's storyline kind of go away.
And she's already got some issues with like remembering the destruction of other planets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I think your way would make sense and be fun, but I think I think they're just gonna act like Zeus's Athena doesn't exist.
well, we don't know why the Olympians haven't been coming down to Earth, right? So far, only the Asgardians are coming to Earth, and Moon Knight has showed us that the Ennead doesn't come here anymore. They don't come to our realm. They don't want to deal with us because we don't worship them enough. Maybe the Olympians feel the same way, like because Greek mythology has become so passé, it is not really worshipped anymore. They're like, we don't even want to be on Earth. It's not fun. We'd rather hang out with aliens and like other gods and stuff.
This place sucks.
That's right, it sucks.
Let's leave. That's me.
We out this bitch.
We can actually look at the comics to get an idea of how the Olympians and the Eternals might interact, right? So in the comics, Zeus winds up discovering Olympia, which is a little confusing. Olympus is the pocket dimension where the Olympians live, the Greek gods. Olympia was the city in the comic books that was like the home base of the Eternals.
Olympus is the pocket
dimensions.
Olympia is in
like
Washington State.
Or it's in Washington State. It's the home base for the Eternals, right? So Zeus discovers Olympia, and he goes there with his daughter Athena, right? And they meet up with Zuras, who is the leader of the Eternals in the comic books, and his daughter Azura. And they kind of come to this realization that they all look similar and have similar powers, like Zeus and Zuras, and then Athena and Azura. So they decide to make like this kind of non-interference pact between the Eternals and the Olympians. And the way this works, right?
What?
The way this works is that the Eternals would act as heralds on Earth on behalf of the Greek gods for certain occasions, right?
Got it, yes.
So they kind of made this deal, like we won't interfere with each other, we won't call each other out, but the gods are basically, every now and then Eternals, pretend like you're us. Pretend like you're acting on our behalf, right? And so to solidify this pact, Azura changed her name to Thena, to make it very easy to like do the kind of crossover, right? And this is all according to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, Volume 2, that came out in 1986.
That came out in 1986.
Right. So the comics have addressed this issue of like the Eternals are very similar to the Greek gods, and we need to make them get along.
How are we gonna do that?
So do we think they're gonna do something similar with the Olympians in the MCU? They'll have said like, oh, don't worry, thousands of years ago we hashed that shit out.
I could
it's
see.
all good.
Well, that would give more, and that would give so much more depth to make other things to be like. Well, great. Now what other gods are just mimics of other gods that act like them.
Yeah.
It's like having the Avatar and Moon Knight. It's like being like, yeah, I'm down here, but like I'm not really there. I'm up here because I can't come down there.
I don't have time.
I'm too busy. I'm Zeus.
Well, and that makes sense, right? They kind of portrayed in this very short clip we got to see, right? Olympus in the trailer looks like a baller place. Like it looks like Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a party and there's all these shows. It's bright and it's happy. And maybe like the Olympians were like, we just want to party. We don't want to defend Earth anymore.
And that's when the Gore comes through and just slaughters
exactly.
all of them.
Because like maybe he outsourced their job to the Eternals. He saw the Eternals were already on Earth, already doing all this hard work, and they see maybe the Olympians know they're robots.
Honestly, Gore could be like, why are you making them
why are you making these robots work for you?
Christian Bale's coming through, slaughtering all of them. That'd be insane. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I think that's a good way to like kind of hash this out, is be like, oh, the Olympians saw that the robots were already doing it, and they're like, they're fine. We don't need to go to Earth anymore. We don't need to go to,
and they're literally just partying.
They're just partying.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, and also in the comics, the Olympians and the Asgardians, they like fight a lot. They like go head to head because they're kind of very similar. So maybe they're like also too busy dealing with the Asgardians. They're like we got to deal with these other gods. We don't care about Earth.
Finally made sure they were gone, and now they came back to another small town. Like, forget about it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. I see yours more so happening. I'm still on that train that scene that we saw with the back of Zeus's head is literally on just one of those ships that are coming in that's like on a party cruise, and it's just like a theatrical performance. In the background is just like a drop of like, look at the skies and Zeus and the Greek gods or whatever, and I'm just like, this ain't real. None of this is real. This is an actor.
None of this is real.
This is an actor. It's gonna be Christian Bale playing Zeus.
Right.
Yours seems more plausible.
Well, I like your reasoning though that Gore is gonna see what they're just partying and not doing their job and be like, you gotta die.
Triggered.
You gotta die.
Literally triggered. It's gonna be like, my family, my people cross deserts for you,
and
mothers.
You guys are just partying?
Yeah, you guys are just partying.
Doing shots?
Yeah.
Taking shots off the ice luge? Come on.
Gore's like, give me that. Gore's like,
my family's dead.
My family's dead. Give me that beer bong. Yeah, let's hope.
That makes sense, right? All right, well, let's take a moment to talk about Hercules, the neglected son of Zeus.
Hercules.
He had a lot of appearances in Marvel Comics over the years, most often interacting with Thor, sometimes battling with him, sometimes battling against him.
We used to be best buddies, and now we're not. I wish you would tell me why.
They kind of like, they're both kind of forgotten sons or spoiled sons who like have dad issues. 100%. So like they would fight a lot, and like sometimes like Odin would pit Hercules against Thor to teach him a lesson and like all this crazy stuff.
I can't. I don't need this. I don't need this weird daddy.
Yeah, but Hercules, he also had a stint as an Avenger. Like he was an Avenger for a while, and most recently he fought alongside the Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books like last year. You could argue that the Eternal Gilgamesh shares a lot of similarities with Hercules. They're both very strong. They're both powerful warriors.
100.
But Gilgamesh has a mythological counterpart in the hero Gilgamesh.
Wow.
Makes sense, right? He's part of Mesopotamian mythology. So I don't think there'll be much confusion there between like Gilgamesh and Hercules.
Yeah, 100.
But do you think we will see Hercules
I hope.
in Thor Love and Thunder?
We have to address
He's
Hercules.
Gotta show up,
we have to address him eventually. If they all get slaughtered, I want Hercules to be the last one standing. I want Hercules, him
to be the last of the Olympians.
Yeah, I want him to be the last one left. I want him to either not be there or be the only one successfully that gets away.
Right.
But I also think that scene wouldn't be addressed until the post-credits.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't see it then. But he's also like half god?
Yeah, he is half god.
So it's even better storylining.
Yeah,
he's got a lot to work
Zeus, Zeus wasn't faithful to his wife.
I'll tell you about it.
Most of his children have different mothers, and Hercules was like not allowed in to Olympus and like kept out, and it gives him a lot of resentment.
I think we talked about this briefly, maybe me and you or me and Zach or me and John, someone that works at the Rockstars, about how if Hercules did show up, he would have more in common with Chris Pratt's character, being like, we're both half gods. Like,
right.
I'm half god, and then Thor's just standing there like, you guys stop being friends. Like, I hate this.
Yeah. I hope that their history exists, like Thor and Hercules' history, because it would be. Hercules seems like the one person to make Thor look like a punk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The way like Thor shows up and now like Star-Lord's like, oh, nobody likes me anymore. Like, I could see Hercules being that for Thor, where he feels like second banana to Hercules because he's like this big tough
dude.
Who
would play Hercules?
Well, I want them to just bring The Rock back.
Oh
like, let The Rock's Hercules be canon and bring him in. And just have The Rock be Hercules.
I love The Rock would be playing Black Adam and then going over to play Hercules. He's like, I only play gods.
I mean,
only
don't be
play
so
super
strong
gods.
if you don't want to play gods all the time.
That is
right?
also true. He's built to play a god in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope it does show up because they've already established, right, that like Kingo was hanging out with Thor and they would party. So I think Hercules has got to show up, even if it's just for a minute.
Maybe they're holding it in their back pocket for later. If you're going with Thor and you have all this history, it's like you're going to have to address this eventually. And they're going to address it. They're going to address it.
I hope so. Okay, well, let's talk about Makari now, right?
Girl.
My girl Makari.
I think fan favorite for Eternals.
Definitely a
for
fan
Eternals,
favorite. Her and Druid
favorite.
came out on top for sure.
Truly.
They were like the best part.
Truly.
Makari is, of course, the speedster of the Eternals, and she has a comparable Olympian in Hermes, the messenger of the gods, right? He was another secret son of Zeus, who was well renowned for his speed. Like when his mom was trying to take care of him on Earth, he would keep like running out and stealing cows and stuff. Many times in the comics, Hermes and Makari get confused for each other, especially during the Trojan War. So if we see a Hermes dashing around Olympus, do you think he's gonna have something to say about Makari getting credit for a lot of his actions?
Okay, so my whole thing, and I'm not a mythology expert. Let me say that first. Is Hermes really gonna be as fast as Makari?
Well, they have like raced in the comics a lot, and I think they're pretty much comparable in speed, right? But Makari has done some incredible things in the comics in terms of speed. It might be one of the fastest people in the comics. Maybe the only one faster being like the Runner, who I think the Runner never slows down ever and can just like run through time and stuff.
That's why.
But Makari might be faster than Hermes.
I think
she's built different.
She's built different. Also, if Hermes hasn't come down and is just literally playing messenger for the gods, Makari's been everywhere else.
Yeah. So
I guess that doesn't really translate to like who would win in a fight. It's more so like I'd be rooting for Makari over.
Like a lot of times in the comics, because the Eternals were there throughout history, they would do stuff and the people would just be like, oh, that's Hermes, because I know who Hermes is.
Yeah.
Like the people of ancient Greece had no idea who Makari was.
Yeah, they're like, what is this?
And they both had like helmets and stuff, so they were often confused. But I don't think like Hermes really cared.
That's also true.
Like he just was like, I still get the credit, even if it's someone else doing it.
Yeah, Hermes is like, we're both fast.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like with Hercules and Thor, it'd be really much like a show-off competition of who's the best. But with Hermes and Makari, it'd be like, we both do this.
We both do the fast
thing. We both run fast.
thing.
We both run fast. Look at us, running fast.
Look at us running fast. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Running fast from war. That's what you're doing, Hermes. I see you.
Then, of course, we have the eternal Phastos, the great builder. He, too, has a Greek god counterpart in Hephaestus.
Hephaestus?
Hephaestus?
I always say Hephaestus.
I like Hephaestus. We're going to go with Hephaestus. The Olympian Hephaestus was worshipped by the ancient Greeks and Romans as the patron god of blacksmiths. And he made all the weapons and armor for the other Greek gods in Olympus, right? That was his job. Hephaestus was another son of Zeus, but was actually the son of Zeus and Hera. So good job, Zeus, for having at least one kid with your wife. But Hera tossed Hephaestus out of Olympus as a child because he was crippled and he was raised by someone else. Some of the stories have it being like Zeus actually got him out to protect him from Hera. I don't know. Either way, they kicked him out. He's raised by someone else, but he eventually makes his way back to Olympus. So he gets put in with the other Olympians. As far as I can tell, he doesn't have much interaction with Phastos, the Eternal, in the comics, other than like Phastos would get mistaken for Hephaestus, much like Makari would get mistaken for Hermes when they were like doing stuff in Greece. I think this would be a case where like Hephaestus would be pissed for Phastos getting all the credit for building stuff.
like building all my shit. Yeah, I would be absolutely.
And then maybe he saw the nuke go off and he was like, "Oh, that wasn't me.
That
was Phastos. That was Phastos. That wasn't Hephaestus.
That's also
your boy
true.
Hephaestus would never do that."
That's also true. We need to keep track of how many times that he unfortunately killed a bunch of people.
Right.
In the name of war.
Building stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and also he wasn't trying. He was like, okay, first off, he's building stuff. He was hired to build stuff,
right.
And he thought like it just like the mindset of a god of being like, I'm doing this for us, and it's like I didn't think you were gonna do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, splitting the atom was important for human scientific development, but also incredibly dangerous.
In the wrong hands.
We learned it too soon. Too quick to learn that.
So how many things has he made that actually damage the world where Hephaestus would be like, hey, I don't want that. Because then it's also, they're still gods. So they're gods because they're being worshipped. So if you're being worshipped for the wrong reasons, or not like worship for the wrong seasons, but if you're doing the wrong things, it's like it's gonna make people stop believing in that god and be like, I don't trust this one.
I think you're right, because like Hephaestus is mainly building stuff for other gods.
Yeah.
And I bet he's pissed that like Phastos is sharing stuff with humans.
With humans,
and especially if that gets human development beyond the point of believing in gods, then like maybe the Olympians lose power because of it, because they don't have the worshiping power anymore.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's 100%.
So I could see him being really pissed at Phastos for being like, why were you helping the humans so much? You
That's
like
not what we do.
developed them out of believing in us. That's not what we do. We keep them in their place.
First off, sir, that's not what we do. What did they say? I help those who help themselves.
Yeah.
And it's true. Hephaestus gets away with it because he's giving it to the gods. So it's like, once it's in their hands, it's in their hands. Whatever happens after that, it's the gods.
Yeah.
You can't blame humans for what the humans did. It's like, well, you handed the humans this, and this is what the humans did. So this is how I try to get out of situations. I'm like, I'm just human.
I like it.
I'm just human. I make mistakes. I make mistakes.
Finally, we'll discuss two more of the Eternals that kind of have Greek mythology counterparts. You have Icarus and Ajax, right?
Babies.
Both the Eternals, Icarus and Ajax, have counterparts in Greek mythology, but they're not gods, so they don't really have like Olympian counterparts. You know what I mean? Icarus is similar to Icarus, the son of Daedalus, who built the labyrinth. And of course, Icarus is known for flying too close to the sun with his wax wings, and they melted. And then our android Icarus flew into the sun and is maybe dead, maybe not. Who knows?
Probably still alive.
Probably still alive.
A robot walking on the sun.
Might as well be walking on the sun.
Because the eternal Icarus, right? He could fly. People thought he was Icarus. It's a good comparison.
Understandable.
And then the former Eternals leader Ajax is similar to the powerful Greek warrior known as Ajax the Great. But again, Ajax the Great was not a god. He was just like another figure. He shows up in the Iliad. So I don't think the Olympians are going to be pissed about Icarus and Ajax. They're not taking any of the thunder.
If anything, they're going to be like, why were these two your leaders?
Yeah. Why did you choose the lame ones?
Why did you choose the lame ones?
Pick the big guys.
0 sense.
Yeah.
They're going to be so confused.
So that won't be a problem there at all.
No, I think that's fine.
How do we think the similarities between the Eternals and the Olympians are going to be explained away in the MCU? How are they going to explain this in Thor Love and Thunder?
What you said really resonated in me of like, when they do come down, the bigger ones, they'll just like the museum of like, ugh, this is my doppelganger.
This is a fake.
It's a fake.
I think that would be the way to handle it, of being like, no, we had them come to Earth to play us for you guys. I mean, I understand that it's kind of like a trick, but it's like, it would give us more reason also to be like, oh, if we thought those guys were strong, these guys are stronger. Like, and if we're already seeing that in Moon Knight with the avatars, it's just one level from that. So you're just it's just a little bit of going higher.
Yeah, I love this idea we kind of came up with where it's like, yeah, they don't care what the Earthlings believe. Like, who cares if they thought an Eternal was a god? It's like, it still works for them. They got bigger fish to fry. They don't care what us puny Earthlings are doing. They're kicking back, eating ambrosia, drinking nectar, having the time of their lives.
Taking the shots until Gore the God Butcher
Gore
kicks
comes
down
out.
that door.
Like, you ain't been doing your job, guys.
My family's dead.
My family's dead, and I'm pissed.
How'd you get up here? Who
How
let
did you
through
find
the
it?
gates?
How did you get tickets? You gotta have reservations to come to Olympus. What are you doing here?
That's the first thing Hermes says. Oh, you're not on this list. I can't let you through. He gets immediately
Gore's
stabbed.
like, oh, what about this? Yeah!
Takes that sword.
Here's my invitation.
Oh, have you ever been shanked? Because that's what's going to happen to Hermes.
Do you think the Olympians are going to stick around post Thor Love and Thunder, or do you think they'll all get wiped out?
I think they all get wiped out except for Hercules. That's a theory, a very big theory, a rogue theory on Big Question, but also nonetheless a theory I really want to happen. You can have all of them in there, but it doesn't show how important they are if there's like 1 million of them, whereas you can have just one.
Right.
And I think that Rick Ryder. Like, of just being like, this is the last man left that has the mind of literally their entire people civilization. So I think having that one person be Hercules is such a good idea. And Hercules is so fun. You can have him do all the things against any of the strong. It doesn't just have to be Thor. It could also be like any of the other Eternals. Like, he could fight Harry Styles. He could be like, hey, come over here, let me choke you. Hey, come over here, let me choke you.
Let me rip out those robot guts.
I think Hercules has to be the last one standing.
Okay,
Definitely.
I like that.
It would be fun. Or Athena. I guess the Athena one would be fun the way you said it.
Maybe Thena and Hercules can hook up and
they just
form a life together.
Oh, that's all beautiful. I want.
That's
I want
beautiful.
Gilgamesh to come back. Is that a spoiler?
Did he die?
Yeah.
I forgot.
His scene was actually
I
sad.
know,
It was
I
in
forget.
the forest.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
he was
yeah.
fighting so hard
That's
for
right,
her.
that's right.
You are a monster.
I'm a monster.
I can't believe Gilgamesh was my favorite part
I
of that
forgot.
damn movie.
I think my mind got wiped too much by No Way Home. I think I forget too much.
Oh,
now.
that's true.
I forget too much.
We got some merch for y'all. We got merch for you. Keep your eyes peeled for the release of some very cool Multiverse of Madness merch over at newrockstarsmerch.com. Especially watch out for the limited edition latest Obsession shirt.
I don't think we have one here.
That's normally next to me, but not today. But you can look it up online at newrockstarsmerch.com and buy it. They always knock the design out of the park for those shirts, and buying one directly supports us, me and Brandon, here at New Rockstars. And before we dive into our bite-sized questions next, let's give a little shout out to our sponsors that help us bring Big Question to you. Big wireless providers always get you with a catch. The cool thing about Mint Mobile and their premium wireless starting at just $15 a month is that there isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you and me. We've got a few folks at New Rockstars who switched to Mint Mobile, including our editor, Riley, and myself, who loves it. Me and Riley both use Mint Mobile, and we save so much money. He kept his phone and his number and is saving a bunch of money every month. For everyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. $15 a month. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for your family. And at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month, that is a good price. And get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/bigq. That's mintmobile.com/bigq. It'll probably be under here. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/bigq.
A little life hack that super rich families have used to safeguard their money for decades is their art collections. The Rockefellers' art collection sold for over $800 million in 2019, which was far less than they spent building it. So what if you could invest in the same art they did and use this wealth hack for yourself? Now you can with Masterworks. It's the first platform where you can invest in masterpieces by legends like Picasso, Banksy, and Basquiat. Did I say that right? Basquiat? That shows how little I know about art, but the people at Masterworks know a ton about art. They let you invest in just a portion of these paintings so you can get all the upside of art as an investment without the high cost. It's also pretty cool to say you've invested in some Banksy. Masterworks was founded by a top art collector and tech entrepreneurs, and they've been hustling to gather a bunch of cool art so you can get in the game with all those billionaires. This sounds like a genius idea to us, and we're not the only ones, as over 400,000 people have signed up for Masterworks. The Big Question audience can skip their wait list. Just go to masterworks.art/bigquestion and see important Regulation A disclosure at masterworks.io/CD. Again, that's masterworks.art/bigquestion.
All right, and now we are ready for our bite-sized question.
Ooh, bite-size questions.
Hey, Brandon. Asked by Manscaping Pancakes on Discord, how long would Nebula have survived on the Benatar with no food or water if they had never been rescued?
Okay, so we're talking about, this is an Endgame, at the very beginning of Endgame, if you remember. It's just Tony and Nebula. They're on the Benatar after the destruction of the planet. They're waiting. They can't get the ship started. They're slowly running out of food and water. What's going to happen, right? Well, while a lot of Nebula's body has been replaced by machinery, we do know that she needs to eat still, right? Because if you remember in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, she claims to be hungry and she tries to eat that yarrow root.
That is true.
And they keep going like, oh, it's not ripe yet. Yeah. And if she was just like faking it, I don't think she would try so hard to eat the root, right?
She was trying really hard.
She was definitely hungry, right? She needs food. She still has organic parts to her. And if she needs food, she probably needs water as well, right?
Yeah.
So we would assume she can't just like live forever on her robot parts. So in Endgame, when they're on that immobile spaceship, the Benatar, it's clear that her cybernetic half will enable her to last longer than Tony, right? Remember Tony tries to give her water and she's like, no, you're all human. You need to take that water. Don't be wasting it on me. Now, I looked into it and there's some different info out there as to how long a human can go without food or water. But it seems like a few survival guides seem to indicate that the average human can go 30 to 40 days without food.
That's impossible.
That's a long time, right? I can barely go a couple hours without food.
That's not real.
It's false. No way. No.
I will literally.
I will kill you.
I will literally eat. Yeah, I will start eating this ship.
Yeah.
I will start.
Day 3, I'm
eating
going to eat whoever I'm with. Let's just say that.
Day 3.
Day 3. I'm hungry.
Day 3.
Okay.
After day 3, I'm gonna eat someone.
I'm gonna eat someone.
I'm gonna eat
Day 3.
We may need to start eating some of the crew. I recommend we start with
Tommy.
He's young and succulent, huh?
I mean, Yellow Jack has showed us we can't go that long without food. But when it comes to water, like you might be able to go a while without food. Not me, but you might be able to. But when it comes to water, that's a very dire situation, right? A human needs water within like 2 to 4 days. There have certainly been situations where humans have gone longer than that, but plenty of people die of dehydration after 2 to 4 days. And I would not recommend trying to push past that point, okay?
Someone watching Big Question right now is like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna prove
So
them
that's
wrong.
You don't know me! You don't know me!
That's Tony, right? 2 to 4 days without water for Tony is going to kill him. Now, Nebula is originally a Luphamoid, which is a humanoid alien species. And now, while we don't know the water and food needs for a Luphamoid, right? Whatever parts of Nebula's body are still organic Luphamoid, it's going to need food and water at some point, right? So I would guess that Nebula could maybe survive twice as long as Tony, with her metabolism being slower and her having like, there is power in her robot parts. Remember, she was able to like wire herself up and use the lasers on the ship, right? So she has internal power, which maybe could be converted into, caloric energy or something. But like that's gonna run out, and her organic parts are gonna die without water. So my best answer for this is like, if Tony can go to 2 to 4 days without water, she can go 4 to 8 days without water.
True.
But eventually
Real
she's
talk.
gonna die too.
Real talk.
So if Captain Marvel hadn't showed up and saved them, they both would have died eventually.
All right, I see that. I
Pretty
feel that.
depressing, but
That
that's
is depressing.
that's the best guess I can
That's a really
come
good
with.
question also, because it's like, oh yeah, she could probably technically go a
Yeah.
little bit longer, but not fully. She's not a full
yeah,
robot.
she's got organic parts, and part of her brain is still organic. It's gonna die away, and the robot
she's still,
parts.
Yeah, and also even if she did have like a robot stomach, it's like she still needs the power,
Yes,
the human
yeah,
parts
yeah.
of her.
Yeah.
They're just
Totally.
gonna die away. Okay, second question is from Sam on Discord. If you could pick your ideal lineup for MCU's initial X-Men team, who would the members be? And when you asked me this question, I was a stupid idiot, and I kept putting in people that were technically on the team for maybe like 20 minutes, like Mystique.
You could do that. I think that's fair.
That's what I. Well, and then I was talking to someone, and they were immediately like, "Well, that was only in the movies," and I was like,
This is the movies, right? The MCU
that
is
is
the
true.
movies.
That is true, that is
We're gonna
true.
make our dream team, okay, for the initial lineup. And I think to make it fair, we're gonna go by like initial X-Men team rules, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna pick 5 team members for your X-Men team. Professor X is gonna be there. He's
Yeah, we
all-time
already know,
QB,
yeah.
right? He's the leader.
Clearly
Who
there.
are the 5 X-Men that show up first? And these could be any mutants you want.
I said, well, this is initial, so this is like the first.
This is
right?
the introduction to the
Ignore
MCU.
the other movies.
You
that
only
came
get
out.
5. Yeah,
Ignore the
this
movies
is
that came out.
MCU proper. You only get 5 X-Men.
Storm has to be one.
Boom, I
Storm
love it.
has to
I
be
love
one
it.
for me.
Okay.
Second that has to be there is Beast.
Okay,
Because I think
okay.
you still need that person.
Is your
there.
Beast transformed, or is he human Beast, or is he
Transformed.
Beast Beast?
He's Beast.
We don't got time for human
He's
Beast.
Beast. I don't got time for human Beast. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay,
give me that. Give me that
okay.
hairy Beast. And then these are the 3 that I was like.
These are tough.
These can kind of come and go. Darwin, and this is me coming
you love
back
Darwin.
to the
You love
original
Darwin.
because after he did not get the rightful death he deserved.
Whoopsie.
I started getting so into Darwin.
They did him
and
dirty.
was like, put this man back in there.
They did him
and
dirty.
Give it back. Give it back.
Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me!
Okay, and then I did Iceman.
Oh,
because
Bobby
Iceman's
Drake.
also
Like it,
very
like it,
fun.
like it.
Very fun. And this is where I'm a little. It's between Rogue or Gambit for me. And I think I'd probably lean Gambit.
We need to see a
probably-
Gambit. We need to see
yeah.
a live action Gambit.
So I think it's just
Get
Gambit.
Channing Tatum back in here.
Yeah,
he
put
wants
him back.
to be.
He wants
to be Gambit. We want to see
He
Gambit
could be-
dancing.
Yeah,
Mon ami, mon
I
ami.
want it to be smooth, and I just gambling like crazy.
Oh baby. Okay, that's a good team. Here's my team. Okay, Cyclops. I mean, you can't.
You can't.
My boy
and you
Scott,
can.
aka
You can't and you
AKA
can.
Slim Summers. He gets a bad rap all the time, right? You gotta have Cyclops.
You can and
He's
you
so
don't.
good.
You don't and you do.
He's so good.
You can miss
You
me
can
with
do him
Cyclops.
right. You can do him
Maybe
right.
that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe I need to disattach.
No. Well,
The astonishing X-Men run that was written by Redacted. We're not gonna say his name.
Redacted.
Scott Summers in the Astonishing X-Men is awesome and
Okay.
it's so well done.
Okay.
And I think you can get there again.
Okay.
Second, Jean Grey. I mean, you gotta have Jean Grey.
Stop.
I either get Emma
I get
Frost
it.
or Jean Grey, okay?
Jean Grey, then.
Then
I'm
I will
gonna
take
choose
Jean
Jean
Grey.
Grey. I'm gonna
Now,
take Jean
They don't
Grey.
need to be together. They don't need to be in a relationship, but you gotta have both of them. You gotta have both of them, okay? Now my third. This is going to be controversial. This is going to be an
I can't
MCU
wait.
swerve.
Please don't.
Magneto.
No, that's fine.
Start Magneto as
That's
a good
100.
guy.
That's 100.
Younger than Xavier,
100.
not contemporaries.
We're
but
not-
Xavier's almost like a father to him, right?
So
And
we're
he's
not doing
raising
first
him.
class. We're not doing first class. You're going before first
I'm going
class?
before. This is MCU.
This is
MCU can
MCU,
rewrite
this is
the rules, right?
This is MCU.
Start Eric Lensher off as like a good guy.
Yeah.
Who just like can't
100.
take it. He's the Kylo Ren, baby. He breaks bad. You know.
100.
That's my third.
I'm
That's my
fine
third.
with that.
Okay.
I'm completely fine with that.
4, my girl, Jubilee. People hate on Jubilee, but she is strong. She
You
is
said
powerful.
this before this. You were like,
I
Jubilee?
love Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Get her in there. I want to see some Jubilee. I want to see. Let's make it happen. Let's get some Jubilee
Okay.
going.
Okay.
Now for my 5th one. This is a tough one. The 5th
Who
one.
didn't choose for your fifth?
I
Also,
think-
imagine the team you just put
I know,
out. You
I know.
chose a lot of people that don't really work well together.
I know. Well, they're gonna have to learn to get along. That's the heart of the X-Men. You got to learn to be a team. You got to learn to get
Real
along.
talk.
You got to learn to play together. You got to learn to be nice. I think for my 5th team member, I mean, you took Storm. I like Storm a lot.
Yeah, Storm has to.
I
Storm
think-
and Beast for me always have to.
I think you kind of teased this earlier and you didn't go with it, so I'm gonna steal it now. Juggernaut.
I did say this. I
Put
did say this and I
Juggernaut-
took it out.
Have Xavier's brother on the team.
Yes.
You know, and so he's got 2 potential people that could break bad. Maybe they break off from the original team and form the Brotherhood of Mutants, right? So yeah, that's my
I did say
initial
this one.
run.
I wanted to be clear. I did mention it,
She
and then
did
I
try and
took
take
all
it,
the
but,
bad
you
people
know,
off my team
you
because I
left 'em.
thought we were doing.
You left 'em there.
I'm an idiot, and I should. And I.
No, you have a good team. I like
Well,
your team.
when it comes to like who you want to marry in the X-Men universe, it is Juggernaut is my number 1, and then Beast is my number 2,
okay.
and then Storm.
And then Storm. We all want to marry Storm.
Yeah, we all wanna
But those are good teams, and I would watch. We can't wait for the X-Men to show up in the MCU.
100.
But now it's time for.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot we have
No,
our
it's okay.
box of scraps.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
The box of scraps. Box of scraps. And Peter just gave with a box of scraps. Box
I
of scraps.
can't. Oh my God, what is that? You want me to give you the box
Yeah,
of
you give
scraps?
us the box of scraps.
When have you ever encountered your doppelganger in real life? Mine, I've never encountered, but they're
Well, I've never
more-
encountered my doppelganger.
They're very much more successful than me.
Well, so my doppelganger existed in a weird time period. If you guys remember the first Purge film that
yes.
came
Oh,
out.
absolutely.
There was a young man in that Purge film who I guess bears a slight resemblance to me. And then I think he was also on Parenthood, the TV show.
Yeah.
But I would be
You
like in a
do.
grocery store,
Yeah.
and a middle-aged woman would like look at me, and
you
then
that
like
boy from
think
The
for a
Purge?
second, or think I'm the boy from Parenthood who has Asperger's, but I'm clearly older than that
Yeah,
child.
you're-
They would look concerned, like, "Are you okay?" And then it's like, I'm not the kid
First
from the show
off,
you're thinking
also,
of.
I keep going to The Purge, but that movie came out in like 2012.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like
that's what I'm talking about. A long
I'm
time
much
ago.
older than that
But
child.
I was already much older than that child at the point. But they were like, "This looks like you as a little kid." I also get told.
Specific graph.
I know, it was so weird. And it was just like, the Purge was hot when it first came out, right? And so for those
100.
2 months, it was just happening all the time. And it's like, I'm not this kid. And then I get told I sound like Vince Vaughn. I don't hear it, but I get told that like all the time. So those are my doppelgangers.
Vince Vaughn.
The actor, Vince
Yeah,
Vaughn.
I'm thinking of, oh, you do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you
I can't hear it
do.
because you can't hear your own voice. You know, it's in your
Oh,
head and
yeah.
it sounds weird.
Oh, I was thinking Vin Diesel, and I was like, you sound nothing like Vin
Family.
Diesel.
Family.
My doppelganger is really hard to find, and if any one of you in the comments immediately say Cabbage Patch doll, I'm gonna fight you. Because I see it, we all see it, but we don't need to acknowledge it anymore. But I did recently find out, and this was via someone in Twitter, that I look like Kenan Thompson. And it's very true. If the editors could just bring up...
You both got great cheeks, a great smile.
It's
I
not
can
the
see
eyes,
it.
don't look at the
Don't
eyes,
look
but
at
it's
the
the
eyes.
cheeks,
The cheeks and the
the
smile.
lips. We both have nose. I think we both have the same shade of skin. Keenan, if you're watching this, I would love some of that money.
Just send a little my way, please.
Throw a little bit my way.
Please,
that
thank
show, I could be your stunt double. I can't move. I can't jump
You're gonna
like
be a
that.
stunt double.
I could be your stunt double in the show Keenan. And that is it for our episode of Big Question.
So fun
here
to
on
be
the-
in
the
person
studio.
in a studio.
It's so weird. I hope nobody's watching this and being like, I hate them in a studio. Put them back on the little computer.
No, you better love us in a studio because you're gonna get a ton more of
Yes,
us in studio.
Literally, you guys are gonna get us now. You're gonna get us in the break room that comes out tomorrow. The break room.
Yeah.
The break room that comes out tomorrow, starring everybody here at New Rockstars.
Yeah. Be sure to tune into the break room. It's our new daily streaming show, live from New Rockstars headquarters. It starts this week right here on our YouTube channel. Check us out live. Hop in that chat, talk to us. We can't wait to bring the show to you. We've been working real hard on it, and we're so excited to premiere it for you guys.
Oh, and thank you, Brandon, for joining me on this episode. Follow him at Grin and Barrick. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons. Follow New Rockstars here on YouTube and on all social media platforms. Make sure to hit that notification bell, turn it on, swipe right on us. And also check us out on Tumblr.
Yeah, that's right. We're on
It's our
Tumblr
newest
now.
thing on Tumblr. And guess who's on that Tumblr? Me. And I know some of you guys are probably like, oh man, I don't even have Tumblr anymore. Get back on it. Get back on it. You just have to log in. I still have like 7 blogs and now 8 because of New Rockstars.
It's great.
You can ask me questions and I will answer them to my best degree. You can ask me where Eric Voss is and I'll tell you. And you can also keep the conversation going on at our New Rockstars Discord.
Yeah,
if you're
check it out in the
18+.
comments. Click on the link. Join the Discord. Come say hi. Thanks for tuning into Big Question. Check out newrockstarsmerch.com. Don't spill water on the new set.
Bye.
Bye.